either side of our mat, blanket, whatever. Let's take the knees and let them gently knock in towards one another. We call this constructive rest. It's a nice release outside of the hips, but if it becomes too much, since we will be holding it for the next 5 minutes or so, just open the legs back up and then let them fall back in. Elongate your spine, so you might have to kind of move your shoulders up a little bit, move your lower back down a little bit. Really want the full length of your spine to be resting on the earth. And you'll take your left hand to your heart. Your third finger is going to be right in the middle of your sternum, so right on that breastbone. And then your right hand is going to go on your belly, and the tip of the third finger rests right on top of the belly button. So we've got these nice 2 anchor points. And of course, gently close the eyes. We begin to arriving to the gift of this present moment. Arriving to the sensations that you feel on your body. Feeling the warmth of the sun, gentle sea breeze, feet, feeling the earth below you. And then noticing any sensations within the body. Are there areas of tension? Areas of dis-ease? Or does everything just feel good? Any areas of tension, just send each of your inhales to those places and try to release. Letting the shoulders drip down the back. Your brows are nice and soft, smoothing out the thought lines on your forehead. Our eyes are sinking into their sockets. Our cheeks are dripping down our face. Our jaw is nice and loose. Maybe even moving it from side to side. Release it. Maybe taking a fake or real yawn. And we'll go deeper, tuning into our emotions. How do we feel right here, right now? Positive or negative, acknowledge it and let it go. Letting go of whatever it took to get here, any stressors, anything that's on the to-do for after this hour. We don't need it. We are here. We are now. finally, tuning into our spiritual self, that deep place of big self that identifies with the place that lives within each one of us, the light, source, God, Mother Nature, love. Have we connected with that place recently? Or do we need to tune in more? We'll begin to notice the breath to assist us in tuning in to spirit. In many languages, the word for breath and spirit are one and the same. So when we tune into our breath, we tune into our higher self, our higher purpose, that place of purity. We'll simply notice the breath, just noticing where the inhales come from and how the exhaling breath is warmed by the body. Begin to deepen the breath by trying to send the inhales all the way into the belly, feeling that right hand rise. And then the breath goes into the rib cage, and maybe we even feel our heart rise. And on our exhales, we feel the heart fall, the ribs contract, and the belly button falls to earth. Inhaling, tummy fills, lungs expand, heart lifts. Exhale, heart falls, ribs contract, belly button is flat. Breathing with that big 3-part breath for the next several breaths. Even noticing the back side of your body expanding on the earth on the inhales. We often forget to send our breath fully towards our backs, even though 60% of our breath capacity lives in the back half of the body. So really widen against Mother Earth. When you've released your last big exhale, gently float the hands up and let them rest on your sides, palms facing down. Gently heel toe the feet back towards a neutral position with the heels lined up with the hip bones. And then on our next big inhale, we'll wrap the legs in our arms, wrapping the body into a tight little seed of love, bringing the forehead up to the knees, taking this moment to thank yourself for showing up this morning, Releasing all of that down. Let's take our arms up overhead. Feet stretch out long in front of us. And our fingers reach overhead. Toes point away from the body. We become our longest selves like Gumby, taking a big morning stretch. And then we release the arms, float them back down. We'll take the right knee into the chest. Clasp the hands on top of the shin. And really squeeze that leg as close to the body as you can. 3 breaths here. Keeping the shoulders and face soft. The only squeezing point being in that hip. On our next inhale, we'll reach that right heel up to the sky, placing the hands clasped behind the right thigh, straightening out that right knee as best we can, but always keeping a micro bend in there if that's safer. And of course, we can bend our left leg and place the left foot on the bottom of, or on the ground, if that serves us a little bit better. If not, we can also straighten out that left leg, reach the left heel towards the sea, the left toes towards the face, right toes reach towards the face, right heel reaches to the sky. 3 big breaths here. Take a moment to draw little circles on the sky with the toes for a nice ankle roll. So first rolling the ankle and toes out towards the right. Really bending and flexing through every little bone and tendon in your foot. Taking your time. Always throughout our practice, we ease ourselves into poses. And we ease ourselves out. Then rotate the ankle the other way. And on our next inhale, we'll flex that right heel up again to the sky, and then engaging the core just a little bit, let that right leg fall out all the way towards the mangroves, placing the left hand on the left hip to make sure that it does not fall off of the ground. We don't want to lift the bum up. We want to keep that left bum down, and we reach that right heel towards the mangroves. Again, of course, bending that left leg if that's what serves you best. We also think about reaching those right toes up towards the face, so we're moving out and up with the right leg. 3 big breaths. Engaging the core once more, seeing how straight we can keep that right leg while moving it up and out and overhead again. And then we'll swing it all the way around to the left. You'll let your right hip come off of the ground and let that right leg maybe even fall all the way over to touch the earth on the other side. Maybe taking the left hand to the outside of the right leg Maybe extending that right arm straight out towards the mangroves, palm facing up for a gentle scissor twist. On our next inhale, flexing that right foot, using the core to reach it over and back towards center. And then squeeze it into the body once more. Let's take our hands to the knee. We're going to rotate that leg around in the hip socket. So moving that knee out and away from you and then back in towards the left and back to center. Right and down and around. And then switch the circle direction so the right leg comes in, down, around, in, down, around. And let's shake out the leg a little bit. And we'll let it float to meet the left. We'll pause here for a moment. You might really feel how your right leg feels longer than your left. It's an amazing sensation. We'll then bring the left knee into the chest, starting with our tight squeeze. Keeping both bum cheeks on the earth. 3 big breaths for a squeeze. Soft shoulders. Release the jaw if it's tightened. And then we'll extend that left foot towards the sky. Clasping behind the left thigh, again bending the right leg as needed. And those right toes reach towards the face, right heel to the sea, left heel to the sky, left toes towards the face. Back of the knee becomes as straight-ish as possible. Finding a place to clasp that keeps those shoulders soft. Constantly tuning into our shoulders. So many of us hold the weight of the world on our shoulders. This hour reminds us to let that all go. Left hand comes to the inside of the left thigh, using the core to open that left leg up to the parking lot or out to the parking lot. Left heel reaches, left toes reach towards the face. Right hand on top of the right hip to keep it grounded. Engaging the core, reach that left heel out, up and over, and it floats all the way to the other side, to the mangroves. Left hip comes off the earth, and that left foot rests down on the other side. Maybe opening up the left arm to the side, palm facing up. Maybe right hand on top of the left thigh. Inhale, using the core to keep that leg as straight as possible and bring it back to center, rolling on over. And then we'll bring the left knee into the chest once more and take those nice hip circles, hands onto the left knee. And we draw it down, out, and over, massaging our hip joint. And then rotating it the other way. We'll then release that left leg long again. Nice and even legs now. Let's shake them both out a little bit. And then we'll bring both knees into the chest. And we'll give our spine a nice little massage, rock and rolling on it, up and down, a few times, or as ever many you would like, to get yourself up into a seated position. Beautiful. Coming into Sukhasana, our easeful seat. Of course, that can mean different things for different folks, cross-legged, or legs underneath you, whatever serves you best, or legs out. Wherever we are, we'll shrug the shoulders up to the ears, let them fall back down. We'll place the hands on the thighs, and let's close our eyes once more, just to allow our brains to adjust to a seated position. Gently fluttering open the windows of the eyes, taking in all that's around you. We'll lift the arms up into a T position, and we'll reach out with both hands, and then we're going to let that left hand, or whichever hand is lower, fall onto the earth. And then the other arm will reach straight out. Perfect. And then we're going to take the crown of the head or the ear and bring it over to the arm that's out. So the arm that's extended straight out, not the hand that's reaching. Perfect. A little too much for me to go left and right. We usually start on different sides. So beautiful. We can think about tiptoeing the fingers that are on the earth away from the body, and reaching that other hand out as well, extending through your clavicle, through your neck. 3 big breaths. And then bringing that head back to center. We'll take the L shape on the other side, reaching out, then letting the fingertips fall, letting that other arm reach away, and the neck falls to the other side. Reaching out with both of those arms. Bird doing a little balance. Head reaches back to center. Both hands come to either side of the hips. We'll take some infinity shoulder rolls, so we reach one shoulder up to the ear and down, and then the other shoulder, making little infinity symbols. You can bend the arms. You can make this as expressive as you'd like, whatever feels good in your body. And let those shoulders go. And then coming back to center, let's take some full head circles. So we'll drop the chin to chest. Right ear comes over to the right shoulder. We draw a circle on the sky with the chin and let it rotate back around. Inhaling, rotating up. Exhaling down. And then let's switch sides. Bring the chin in the other direction. Coming back to center, we'll take our heart nice and tall, and we're going to fold over the legs, but I want us to think less about rounding and more about that heart reaching towards the sea. Bringing the arms in front wherever's comfortable. Again, this isn't a V-sit reach or anything. No need to reach. Keep the shoulders soft. Lift out of the hips, out of the pelvis, and fold the body out and forward. Slowly tiptoe the hands back in. Take a look at the cross of the legs and switch out the feet. And we'll take that fold again on the other side. So first, the heart lifts up, lifting out of the belly and the core. And then we hinge at the hips, folding forward. Thinking about elongating out from the sacrum, that little spot at the base of your spine, out through the lower back, middle back, upper back, and out through the crown of your head. One long line of energy. Gently again, tiptoe the hands back in. And we'll adjust our bodies, rotating to come into a child's pose. We'll come into our full balasana, or navasana, actually. Placing the arms on the sides and crown of the head on the earth, legs are together, truly coming into a fetal position. We come into this womb-like position to remind ourselves of that seed of our soul, that pure love, pure compassion that lives within us, that surrenders to all that is, all that was, and all that will be. On your next inhale, you will extend the arms forward for Utthita Balasana. And then we'll tuck the toes and reach the hips to the sky for a downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Our knees can be as bent as needed. Our hands are about mat distance apart, shoulders nice and soft down the back. We think more about elongating the entire entire back and hips reaching to the sky rather than forcing the heels to the earth. So the back, the upper part of the body is the part that gets long. The elbow creases face slightly in, almost towards the ocean. Our feet are hips distance apart and nice and parallel. Let's bicycle out our feet so we reach the right heel up, left heel towards the earth, then left heel up, right heel towards the earth. Switching, pedaling out. Or staying in stillness, whatever serves your body this morning. On our next inhale, we will toe heel our way all the way to the front of our mat. Really taking your time, feeling the hamstring stretch as you go. Nice and slow. Like a gorilla, walking with the arms hanging. Everything is nice and loose. And when we get to the top, we're in our forward fold. Probably our first forward fold of the day, so let's make it as juicy as possible. Taking opposite hands to opposite elbows, letting the crown of the head simply fall to the earth, letting gravity do the work. Our knees are as bent as needed. We can maybe draw little infinity symbols on the earth with the elbows. Rocking back and forth, bending one knee and then the other. We're staying in stillness. And coming back to stillness whenever you're ready, releasing the arms down, maybe shaking them out a little bit. Everything nice and loose. We'll then bend the knees super generously. And on a big inhale, we'll spread our wings out wide and reach our body with a flat back all the way up to standing. Arms come up overhead, touch, hands touch, and hands come down to heart center. Let's close